Shalom Chavre. Like and subscribe, you know the drill. So, I promised to make videos, but you know I'm kind of busy. You know, when you do your daily learning, it soaks up all your time, and sometimes you end up falling asleep right in the middle of your learning, and it stores up to the following day, and you end up having to play catch up. It's hard. It's hard to do it. It's hard being a Jew when you're a single fella. If you're Baalei Teshuvah, a single fella, you've got behavioural issues. You don't want to always go to people's houses on a Shabbos because of what you might say. But, you know, the rabbis will say, no, it's up to you to control your behaviour. If you can't control your behaviour, just at least zip it. Keep quiet. But I can't. You know, I've got things to say. But all excuses, really, at the end of the day. But I've got a big challenge. And the challenge for me is I'm not eating enough meat. You know, I can get kosher meat, but I have to freeze it. And being a single fella, it's difficult to plan and prep meals in advance. Again, excuses, because you know people are saying around excuses. Listen, all right, no, I agree. Excuses. I'm just not organised. That's all. But you know, I'm running out of kosher meat. I've got to go and buy some. I have to go and buy, maybe spend 150 quid or something like that. I can get it. But my difficulty is that I'm as a single fellow, you know, wife to help and prep and all that. You say sexist. I don't care. You know, I haven't got a partner to basically help me to participate in the organisation of things like Shabbos. You know, I find myself all of a sudden on Friday afternoon like, oh my God, it's Shabbos. I gotta go run. Sometimes I don't bother running. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. You know. And so I started thinking, well, what's the problem here, Mars? What's stopping you? What's stopping you? And I thought, well, it's convenience, or it's time-saving issues, and you know, they said, well, then you've got easy things to do. All you need to do is make a challenge. I said, yes, but you know, you've got to get at the meat or cook it, and I can do it here, but and then I've got to take it home. Too many barriers, too many challenges in life for me. I'm not that organised. And I thought, there's got to be hundreds and thousands of yids like me. There's got to be. There's got to be people in remote areas that can't get any access to kosher meat. So they don't bother, you know, they eat treif. They think, it's too hard being a Jew. You know what I mean? It ain't easy, is it? It ain't easy. And yet, you know, I know that's just, you know, the Jewish world is fragmented, and it's falling into pieces in certain aspects, you know. Unless if you're from birth, it's mostly all right. You know, you'll have a shidduch and you'll meet somebody and you know, before you know it, you're banging out kids. But if you get to 58 and you're not from birth, you're a Baalei Teshuvah of sorts, and you've got to make things happen. It ain't bloody easy. It ain't. So I'm looking at the problems and I'm thinking, what is it that's stopping you from doing what you want to do? And I'm thinking, all I need is a challenge. I need to make challah on a Thursday. It evades me. I've got all the stuff here. But come Thursday, like, I think, you know, it's the kind of thing I've got to do in over. It takes 5 minutes to make a challah. I promise you it does. But you have to do it over a 2 or 3 hour period, you know? And you need to juggle it. I'm moaning. You're not meant to moan. Rambam says you've got to deal with it. But I had an idea, didn't I? I thought to myself, like, what I really need is tinned kosher meat. I thought, you know, the goyim, they've got things like saveloys in a tin, or they've got corned beef or something like that. You know, why isn't there a kosher corned beef in a tin? All I've got to do is scoop it out, put that in, potatoes, vegetables, and it's done. You know what I mean? Well, imagine, sometimes they put a vusht in a cholent, don't they? So why can't we have vusht in a tin? And I asked the rabbi and everything, and they said, yeah, what do you want to do that for? And I said, well, clearly you don't understand what it's like to be a single yid on his own, right? You haven't got a clue. You're far too detached and remote. Everything's cushy for you. Well, what you worried about? You get invited to people's houses. Yes, but the process of being invited to people's house makes me feel like a nebuch. He said, yes, but helping somebody fulfill a mitzvah. And I said, yes, but it's their mitzvah. It's not mine. And I said, the mitzvah is for them to invite somebody to their house who's less fortunate than you. And I don't want to feel like less fortunate. I want it the other way around. I want to make a challenge and invite them to my house. It's not going to happen. Moaning. And I thought to myself, hold on, Mars, you're onto something here. If there's no corned beef or kosher meat in a tin, kosher meat, maybe you should make it. Maybe you should go to a butcher or go to a big outfit in Manchester, because they've got lower overheads in Manchester. I think they have anyway. Or even down in London, and put it to somebody. Go and see some of these charedim in London. I knew a guy, he was a dairy, he was a milkman. Used to come past, used to go from London to Manchester, and he'd stop to Doven in Birmingham. And I used to have a chat with him. And he used to say, what milk have you got in the fridge? And I said, what do you want to know that for? He says, because I made it. Yeah, he was one of the major milkmen. Kosher milk, right? So he's got access to cows, I thought. So he can make cholents in a tin. Why not? Cholents in a tin. So I asked the rabbi, I said, Rav, does it exist? He says, no. He says, what do you want to eat that for? And I said, well, this is my situation. I said, and he said, yeah, but it wouldn't taste very nice. I said, I don't care. I said, you know what the alternative is? Treif. That don't taste nice either. I said, but if I could have cholents in a tin. So I said, what's the halacha with opening up a tin on a Shabbos and a Yom Tov? I said, can it be done? I said, what would you do? And I said, well, I'd get the tin of cholents, I'd put it in a pot of water, and I'd put it on the hot plate and just let the water sort of like steam away and cook the cholents or warm the cholents up inside the tin. Come Shabbos, I come home and open it up. I says, but what's the halacha with opening up the tin? He says, there is a way. There's always a way, isn't there? There's a way there's a workaround. Maybe he was going to say is you open up the tin before Shabbos and you put that in. Now that would be a good idea. That maybe solves it. But the challenge you got is you got to find somebody that makes cholents in a tin. I thought, hold on, wait a minute. I've seen people can food. I think they call them preppers in America. And it's not an old technology. It's not a new technology. It's an old technology. Tin, canning and putting things in tins. It's been around for a long, long time. And all it is, from what I can remember, it's basically like a reverse can opener. You've got to have a sterilised tin. Is it pasteurised? I don't know. You've got to have a sterilised tin. I think all they do is put in hot water, right? Put your food in the tin. They put a lid on the tin and then they put it on a device and they turn the handle and it seals it. I think you might have to put it in an oven afterwards to pasteurise it or boil it in. I don't know. I'm going to go and investigate it. But I thought if I could learn and master the art of tinning on a small scale, then all I've got to do is make a massive pot of cholent and can it, right? And then put it on my shelf. Come Erev Shabbos, take it off the shelf, open it up, put it in the tin and let it do its thing. Come Shabbos, okay, I can imagine, it's not going to taste that great, is it? But it don't matter. You're compliant and you're satiated and you're obligated to do Birkas Hamazon. You know what I mean? You've got to basically thank God for it, regardless of your circumstances. It's a poor Yid's Shabbos lunch. Shabbos in a tin. Shabbos in a tin. Tin Shabbos. Hey, do you want a tin of Shabbos? I've got some great tins of Shabbos. Now, Mamash, I'm thinking I'm onto something. And I'm going to investigate it. So I'm going to go and see what's involved. And I'm going to try and make my own challenge. I could do variations of it, couldn't I? I could do a spicy one. Why not? I mean, there's got to be plenty of yids like me. There's got to be people who would just even like to try it. What about the Bachurim, the ones that are on their own? What about when you can't get any kosher meat, even in a regular area? You go to the butcher's, all sold out. What am I going to do? So I've got tin cholents. That'll do. I'll have one of them. You could always keep it on the cupboard. How long do you keep it in the cupboard? 35 years it will last for. But what about yids in remote areas that they haven't got any kosher butchers? So they don't keep kosher. What about the rabbis who want you to keep kosher, but they don't want to keep kosher? And they say, well, just eat this tin. Then by default, you'll keep kosher. It's the same thing as that rubbish you're eating. I'm surprised it's not there, to be honest with you. I really am. I'm going to go and look into it. So what do you think? What thoughts have you got on it? What else could you do? I mean, it's really... I wonder why it doesn't exist. Anyway, it'd be nice to engage in a debate and a discussion with you. Let us know. What do you think? Is it doable? Are there any alternatives? I'm for sure I'm going to get some clever yid that's going to come out with a great idea that I have overlooked. And I really would like to know what your thoughts are. Anyway, like and subscribe. Don't forget. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, Chag Purim Sameach from yesterday. Lovely. Thank you. Bye.